you are a social media person and have been online in the recent few days, you have definitely come across photos with something like this, because on the 8th of March, people were celebrating the International Women's Day, and this year's theme was Each for Equal, which means creating a gender equal world. Now, gender equal world is very important because a gender equal world is as well as a peaceful world, I'll say. And today, right on Let's Talk Family, we want to feature the man and get to hear him. What does he have to say? Because many of the times we've heard about the women's side, which I'm not saying it's not important. It is important, but if we are to be gender equal, let's get to listen from the man. My name is Faith Kaulu, and thank you so much for joining me today on Let's Talk Family. I am gladly joined by James Makori. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, who is the voice of the man today and is going to help us understand some of the major challenges that men go through, especially since we have been experiencing an increased number in men committing suicide, which is very alarming. And this means that I'd say the pressure is increasing and the man can no longer take it. And that is why I feel today's conversation is very key and very important for the man out there.
Definitely.
Yeah. So maybe to begin with, what are some of the major challenges that men do experience that might be leading to the cause of alarm or an increase in the number of, I'd say, suicide cases?
Suicide cases.
Yeah.
Mostly related to relationship, that is.
Yes, mostly related to relationships.
Well, first of all, when we are looking at the relationship perspective, from a man's perspective, or even from a woman's perspective, a lady's perspective, definitely there are issues and there are things that are important, a man deems important to him. Equally, the issues that a lady deems important. And when getting into a relationship, these are things that are fundamental to a man. And in any situation, in any case, he doesn't meet them, a sense of inadequacy comes in. And the society pressures. Yeah. So definitely, as inherently it has been women facing these kind of challenges, ladies facing these kind of challenges. But now, with the rise of feminism, the power of women, now the playground has been leveled. The man equally has challenges that he goes through. Yeah. Is a definite.
What you've said about social pressure, what are some of the pressures that the society expects or has set for the man that are too high for him to achieve?
Generally, the pressures the society puts on a man graduates from level to level. At a certain age, a man has to have some sense of expectation, some level of pressure bestowed upon him when he's going through school. After school, courtship comes with other pressures, and marriage also with other pressures. But then a man is expected, the African man per se, is expected to be that strong man at a level of masculinity. He should be a leader in one way or the other. And when this person is falling short, the sense of inadequacy now puts a man to psychological or mental pressures.
Torture. And
mental
he feels
tortures.
like he's a failure.
He's a failure.
Yeah.
And these issues can range from education, from finance, from sexuality.
Work.
Yeah, from work, profession. Yeah. And also we're now being compared to the lady that this person wants to engage in a relationship with, or the lady that this person is in a relationship with.
Yeah. And I'd say what you're saying is very true, because nowadays you'd see, take for example a 26-year-old man and a 26-year-old female. The man is expected to be driving, have set up businesses, settled down, probably having a very serious relationship that will lead to marriage. But if the woman does not have all this, the society will understand.
I can excuse the lady, but not the man. Yeah. Definitely, these are issues that are very common today. And sometimes it gets even worse when this male in question is a firstborn in a family. Now there's that pressure to be there for the family. Then there's this pressure also to be there as a man. Or even you as a man in front of your peers. How do you relate? You have your peers, all of them are working, good jobs, and you are there, jobless or not a job that doesn't match their level. So these are basically, in fact, a man mostly goes through mental issues more than physical issues, physical challenges. Yeah. We won't find many cases of male battering as it would be for female, but then psychological issues, the issues to perform in terms of how much do you have, in terms of how much do you contribute psychologically? How do we depend on you as a man?
And how big is your bank account?
How big is your bank account?
Yes.
Because we're really living at tough times, because the situation or the challenges we're having right now are not what our parents went through. And IT has revolutionized everything to an extent that we're in a global village, which is an advantage and a very bad thing. Because we have access to information, we have access to exposure. We know that at a certain level, I'm expected to be owning a good house. And I know a good house, what it means. I've seen it over the internet. I've seen my friends flaunt theirs on the internet. I'm expected to be driving a good car. I'm expected to be taking somebody out at certain joints. I'm expected to be communicating in a certain way. So these are the things internet has brought closer to us through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And the pressure now mounts even more in a relationship, when even the lady you have expected to be providing this. So it becomes a challenge for a man.
Okay, about being the provider in a relationship. This is just during the courtship or dating period. We've had a lot of complaints, say rather, in the social media. Unatuma fare, the lady eats it, that's your money. Or the lady demands for saloon. I mean, I need to go and make my hair, and she wants 3,000, which is not little coins. In today's economy.
For the boy child.
For the boy child especially. Does this put a certain pressure for the man to work hard in order to be able to keep the kind of lady she wants?
It puts pressure. During courtship, there are pressures that are there, and some will translate to marriage equally. But then even issues of kutuma fare, some are like hawana watu wa kutumia fare, or people do not demand to kutumiwa fare. But even if there's nobody requesting you to send fare, there's that sense you want to be there, you want to lead, you want to provide. A man is a provider. So you want to show your masculinity through that. And a man will always feel entitled to do that. In a situation that he cannot provide, then
his ego is a bit shaken.
His ego is tampered with.
And why is it so? Because if you're in that stage in life where you're struggling financially and you can't afford, why does this affect you as a man?
Well, it will affect you as a man because we're looking at. We want even to compare ourselves as men. This person can provide, I cannot provide. And then there is an essence of insecurity. Maybe the lady has no issue at all with that. But now you yourself are insecure. Maybe you can get somebody else who can do that. So it's within you. It's a battle within. That if you're able to fight, then well and good for you. But it's not easy. Most so at such kind of a stage between 24 to 26, 28 there.
So it all goes down to self-awareness and self-acceptance.
Self-awareness.
Realizing that this is where I am, but this is not where I'll be forever. So if I don't have the amount of money I need right now, let me work hard to get it, but no pressure. I won't compare myself with others, because I believe that's important. It is said that in life people go through different times, different stages, at different periods. So where you are right now is not
where you will eventually be 10 years from now. But it gets worse when you're in a relationship. When I'm alone, when you're yourself, you are taking care of your own. When you're single, I'm taking care of my own self. I can comfortably do that. I know maybe 2 years from now, situation will have changed. 3 years from now, 10 years from now. But then I'm in a situation with another person. We are two now. It's not one person. But I cannot control what another person thinks. I cannot control what this person wants from the relationship or wants from me, expects from me. But then I can control myself. If I'm alone, if I'm single, I know ultimately that one time the situation will change. I will be definitely financially okay. But then there's another person here. So it also depends on this other person, the lady in the picture. How she treats the situation.
How she handles this.
Is the lady optimistic about things changing? Does the lady see, and there's a cliche or something maybe proven, the ladies can foresee better than men. A lady can see the potential of a man.
And bring out the best in him.
And bring out the best in him. So if that is the case, it becomes a a situation altogether.
Yeah, you stick with him until
yeah. But we also don't want to limit the discussion to sticking with a man, because men also have their faults. The issues or situations that can force a lady to walk out. But I think we're now looking at it from an ideal situation when all factors are constant. This is an upright man maybe, but now a few circumstances are now making a relationship so hard.
Now, even as you're talking about the challenges that men go through, which includes financial aspects, emotional, and so much more, why is it, first of all, before I get to the why it's hard for men to speak out, do men speak out and talk about their challenges amongst the boy club, if I might put it? Yeah.
It happens. The challenges a man will be very comfortable sharing. Most of those are very general things a man will very comfortably share out. But when it comes to issues or things that really prick on his ego as a man, he will be very skeptical to share, even with his very close friends.
And why? Why is it so?
Because it pricks on his ego. Yeah, it definitely, there's that sense of uncomfortability when you feel, if I share this out, there's a way I'll be viewed now. There's a way I'm weaker in a way. Yeah. But then issues of finance, men are comfortable sharing with fellow men. Very close friends, we usually share issues of finance.
Let's say if you have a group of friends that you know won't judge you, won't view you as weaker, does such a circumstance make it easy for men to open up about each and every problem they go through?
You may also realize that in any boys club, there's a person who is closer to another, more than another.
Sure.
So if we're in a group of 6, there's a person who I may be closer to more than the 5. Best. So one person, it will be very easy for somebody to open up to one. Then from this person, then you will know whether to open up to the rest or not. Yeah. Okay. But it's not so easy bringing people together, then you guys have this problem. Yeah. It only happens maybe in movies. But I don't know how or for others maybe it can work. Yeah. But in reality, I usually, most times I see somebody approaches somebody is very close to first, then advice on such a kind of, or somebody who has gone through that situation, or somebody who he thinks can handle that or knows more about that.
Yeah. And do you think men are more prone to go for counseling when they're looking for solutions?
It's hard for men to do that.
It's hard.
It's hard for men to do that.
Even if the counselor is a man?
Even if the counselor is a man, is hard. Men have a problem accepting that they have a problem. Yeah. Accepting that I have this kind of a challenge. And I want to go to a fellow man who people deem knows more about it than I do. So it's hard.
Do you think the society should change this perspective, and men should start, seeking help more, not necessarily counseling, but even if it's opening up, closure, or we should mwanaume ni kujikaza.
Definitely, society has its own ways to progress in terms of what society, how we relate, how we view things is what defines the society. And how we change is what defines how society changes. Yeah. So it's progressive, definitely. You cannot say right now, I'm very sure there are men who go for therapy, who go for counseling. That would be a very, very, very unlikely circumstance years before. But then things are changing. Media is there, access to internet is there, the information. Yeah. So at least even before going to the counseling, a man will have already sought some other avenues before sorting to that. We will try to Google, seeking a friend, or then eventually counseling. Yeah. But then you'll find some who you'll later on realize that have not shared even with their close friends, but have consulted elsewhere from professionals, the therapists and everything. Yeah.
So in short, you're saying that men should actually seek closure and help from every resource they can get, not necessarily...
No, from every resource they can get, from every source they can trust. Yes. Also, because it's also a level of trust. I wouldn't want to get an advice from somebody who I know will make it public.
In the wrong direction.
Yeah. Or will just make it public. Sure. I wanted it to be secret between me and him, but then
And that is very dangerous, actually.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, because it damages you even more.
Yeah.
Now, do you think opening up more and be it to friends or counseling or to ministers will lead to less number of depression cases amongst men?
Yeah, it definitely will lead. We men, most times, or often at time, you find if you sample a group of men and ask them, do you have a mentor? You will find they don't have, or a very good fraction does not have mentors. But then these people have been exposed to mentors. They know how they can handle the situations. So being at places where you can access people who can advise you on such issues, who people have gone through that, I think can help a man develop to a man he wants to be.
Yes.
Yeah. But then the other shortcoming of that would be when people have really scripted their lives. Sometimes a person can really script his life to you.
Sure.
Your pastor wants you to live the way he was living, and we are totally different people. It's usually an ideal thing, but it doesn't work. Yeah. So it needs somebody who's very open-minded, somebody who understands your circumstance and level, and understands what you really want, who can be a mentor to advise you or to be there for you in some situation.
We are taking a very short break right here on Let's Talk Family. We will be right back. Remember to use the hashtag Let's Talk Family and engage me on our social media pages. That is at CAC TV Kenya on Facebook, and on Twitter, it's at CAC TV_Kenya. See you in a few.
Have you ever dreamed or imagined of owning a prime property in the fastest growing areas in Kenya today? The PCEA Cooperative Society Limited is making your dreams come true. We have plots along Kangunda Road at Kantafu, Juja Farm and Thika Municipality. All the plots have ready title deeds and are ready for development. For booking and reservation, call us on 0708-145-222 or shoot us an email at pceahousingltd@gmail.com. PCEA Housing Cooperative Society Limited is turning your dreams into a reality.
Are you looking for a reputable school to guide you in pursuing your dreams in nursing? Look no further. PCA Kikuyu Hospital School of Nursing is accredited by the Nursing Council of Kenya to offer Diploma in Community Health Nursing. With a mean grade of C plain and above, we will walk with you through your journey to pursue your dreams. We are located in a serene environment conducive for learning. At the heart of Kikuyu Sub-County neighboring Alliance Boys and Girls School, we also pride ourselves for having a fully equipped modern library with e-learning facilities, qualified and committed lecturers, comfortable and learning-friendly lecture rooms. At the state-of-the-art Skills Lab, spacious student hostel with excellent accommodation facilities, and chaplaincy staff at the hand for spiritual and pastoral care. April 2020 intake is currently ongoing. To register, apply to the principal, PCA Kikuyu Hospital School of Nursing, through email nursing@pcakikuyuhospital.org. For more information, call the number on your screen.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Family right here on CAC TV. Thank you so much for joining me, and today we are hearing it from the horse's mouth because we want to give the man a chance and a space to cry out and air their problems and challenges that they experience. And to do that, I'm joined by James Makori. This is if you're joining me right now. We have talked about a lot, and in this second half, I want us to discuss about domestic violence. Because when I mention domestic violence, what comes to a lot of people is female, or the woman and the wife. But sadly, indeed, men are also victims of violence. And research has clearly indicated that about 40% of men actually are victims of violence, which is something we rarely talk about. Yeah. So why do you think men shy away of coming forward and talk about violence that they experience and how they can get help?
First of all, I'm surprised with the statistics. 40% is a very 40%. Significant.
Actually, it says that out of 5 men, 2
go
are
through
victims,
that. Are victims of domestic violence.
Yes.
Men, we really are, as Africans, or rather, even stretching this conversation, mostly we are a very patriarchal society. Sure. Patriarchy has its stems from a Christian point of view, from an African man point of view, Indian, call it. And patriarchy comes with the leadership, with the power over somebody. Not in a very negative way, but you are the head. You do not expect the head to be the person who is going through such kind of a thing, being beaten by somebody who he has authority over. And when that becomes the situation, most men who didn't want to share that kind of an ordeal they go through, they'll suffer silently. But the issues of that would be a relationship point of view between the man and the woman now. And how are these two people relating? And for it to escalate to that kind of a level, for a man to experience brutality from a woman, or a guy to experience brutality from a lady, there are some underlying issues of this relationship that in one way or the other, a lady feels a man is inadequate, or a man is weak to some kind of a level. It may be finance. Now because we do not provide, it may be job, very, very divergent issues. And or in a situation that a man is so into our lady and is not reciprocated back. And whatever a man goes through, you'll just have to endure that. Or to a situation that a man do not want to face the fear of divorce, the fear of breakup. So you'd rather enjoy in silence than to
keep your family together.
And keep your family together, the relationship intact.
And just as you've said that sometimes when the lady sees it fit rather to beat a man or to subject him to violence, it shows that the lady thinks the man is inadequate, be it finances or in any other aspect. Now when a man goes through this and comes out and speak of his experience, does it make him less of a man?
It doesn't make him less of a man, because from the onset that's what's going on. So whether he shares it or not, that's what he feels. He goes through it internally. So he will often at times be afraid to share this, even to his close friends, because you find a situation that you're with your friends or a man with a fellow man, and if such kind of a thing arises, issues or statements such as lazima ukuwe mwanaume, mwanaume hawezi pigwa na bibi, and when you're sharing this, you have that doubt. Should I really share this? How will they see me? So most men will just suffer in silence, or rather share with somebody somebody they don't know, maybe a therapist. In fact, or a stranger, or maybe a very close person.
And for men out there who are watching and are victims or are going through this in their relationships, be it marriage, be it dating, what can you tell them? What do you have for them?
Because first of all, before we even go to those, what I can tell them, first of all, when a relationship escalates to violence, there's lack of respect. Even if it is the woman who is facing the violence, there's a way the man or the way the woman sees the man. And when you're resorting to violence, let's take for example a child. When you have resorted to killing a child, means you have explored other options, but this is the best. In a relationship perspective, in marriage, when now you have resorted that the best thing you can do is to fight this guy, to fight this lady, it means you've also exploited these other issues, avenues like communication. Have you tried to communicate it out? And if you've not exploited that, definitely it means there's a way you disrespect this person. And such kind of a relationship is not ideal. That is it, but it's not ideal. Right now, there is a rise of toxic relationship. You hear it over the TV. You see it, Facebook, social media.
It's all over.
It's all over. And we want to define it with violence. Well, other factors come in, But violence is also toxic. When a relationship escalates to violence, it becomes toxic.
Yeah.
And if communication cannot mend it, then the best thing to do is to find somebody. Men look for respect. Men and respect are like Siamese twins. They're inseparable. Yeah. They crave for respect. And that's why most men crave for power. Because sometimes power comes with the respect. In a family, your child, your wife, people you expect to get the respect from. Because that's the first place a man shows his leadership. Yeah. Before job, before your title is a CEO, the first thing is a family. So a person may have a veil outside, but then a veil that everything is okay. But if he's facing this, no matter the position, no matter the affluence, the money, he's not going through what he wants to. No matter the circumstances, he is facing a very, very dire situation, mental issues, that he really needs help.
Yeah. So seek help.
Seek help.
If you're in such a situation.
Such a situation.
Yeah. And you've touched that other than being inadequate, sometimes it may be caused by lack of a job. Yeah, maybe you've lost a job and the woman feels that you're not contributing anything. Yeah? Or maybe the woman is earning more than you, which is actually a very major challenge in today's society. Most men I have interacted with, and actually even research shows that men prefer being with spouses who earn less than them.
Not even equal.
Not even equal.
Yeah, less than them.
Why is it such a big deal?
It becomes a big deal. Patriarchy, being there to provide. And essentially it's patriarchy and being there to provide for family. Yeah. Because those are the things that makes a man feel he's a man enough. He's a man enough. Because when that is taken from him, he feels that there's nothing is contributing to the relationship. Yeah.
But there's so much more man
can offer. Yeah. But then he, deep down with himself, he feels that.
Okay. So do you think this is a toxic view that men should change and accept that actually I can date or marry or my spouse can earn more than me and it's okay?
It's definitely okay. But then, as we said earlier, there's some things that also depend on another party. There's some decisions you can make, but the outcome does not depend on your decision. Yeah. It depends on the decision of the person. So as a man, you may be comfortable with a lady earning more than you. But is the lady comfortable with showing respect to a man he earns less than? Yeah. Would a lady be subservient to that? Yeah. Because the ideal situation is a man and a woman are equal. But then, from where we come from, we would want to make it insignificant. From where we come from, especially we Africans, there's an essence to which we view that a man is the head.
He's the head.
A man is the provider. And the provider.
Yeah. Actually, it is not only in the African society, but even as you said before, it cuts across, even in religion.
In religion.
That the man is the head.
The man is the head of the family. Yeah? Okay. And you expect the head to be giving guidance in terms of financial leadership, in terms of moral leadership, family, setting the virtues for the family. Yeah.
All right. Now here's a very big question, that I know a lot of people are looking forward to because it touches on sexuality, which is a very sensitive aspect and topic. But I'd say most men define themselves or define their masculinity with sexuality. If you take their sexuality away from them, then you've taken their manhood
away from them.
Yeah. Why is it so? Why is it like this?
The pressures from the society, the pressures to conform. You've been brought up in a very Christian way. But then not all your friends will have been brought up the way you've been brought up. You meet colleagues, you meet schoolmates, classmates. There's that pressure that for a man to show that a man is masculine enough, he has to engage into sexual relationship with a lady. And most men fall prey to that. Most men. Yeah. But it shouldn't be defining a relationship. It shouldn't be defining, but it contributes. When the right time comes, sex is a very important element of a relationship. when the right time comes, that's after marriage. But then before that, because you find even this promiscuity, this engaging in sex before marriage, these are issues that lead to a very toxic relationship. And when you evaluate this relationship for some time, you realize, maybe as a lady and as a man, you ask yourself, what do you gain from a relationship if sex is removed? There's nothing for most men, nothing for most ladies.
Yeah.
And we, as the society, we people who others look up to, even the church itself, should now step into that. But the debate should not be in an essence of religious point of view. It should be from a very ethical point of view. Yeah. How do you advise somebody that premarital sex is bad is wrong without mentioning the Bible? How do you engage him from an ethical point of view? Then engage him now
in the biblical
perspective.
Yeah, and I think what you've said is important, because in the society, what we hear most of the time is premarital sex is wrong.
It's wrong.
And you ask, why is it wrong?
Why is
because
it wrong?
It is
Is it the Bible?
And you see, for most people, they're left with questions, because why is it wrong?
Why is it wrong? Why is it written in the Bible? And that question still goes unanswered.
Yeah.
But we tend to want to view it from a very ethical point of view, from a moral point of view. Yeah. Because we want to view it from sex is a union between two. It should be a complementary thing between a man and a woman. And the outcome and the component should be to unite the two, procreation, among many other things. It has its components. It shouldn't be a casual thing, not just the passion point of view. It should be having its components, all the components met. Yeah. If that is defined, if that is met, then well and good.
Yeah.
But really, that is met.
So the church should now be open to talk about this openly, and in a holistic way. Yes, we touch on the Bible, but we also touch on other matters that will help young people understand why we say it is wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, what are some of the major toxic characteristics that you feel like it is about that time men did away with those behaviors in terms of relationships?
In terms of relationship, toxic behaviors for men.
For men.
Our perception of relationship first has to be very well defined. When a man, or rather you as a gentleman, when you are entering into a relationship, you have to really evaluate what are you looking for from this relationship. And after understanding that, also understand who are you. Because you don't want to go to a relationship that you yourself, you don't know yourself. Because that's when issues of toxic relationship comes up. You don't know yourself. You are in a relationship with somebody else who does not know yourself.
Yeah.
Then two clueless people.
Yeah.
But with a firm understanding of who you are, your goals, your ambitions. Now you have a clear trajectory of what you want from a relationship. And then they can evaluate now. Now we can also equally talk of issues like drugs, overdependence on them, definitely. How we view women, how we view our equal women, the rise of powerful women, feminism, and elements of violence equally, because women face that. We can't shy away from that, and it comes from men. We have to be open to that. We have to be a supportive partner as a man. You're adding value, because a relationship essentially should be a complementary thing between a man and a woman. How do I add value to you? How do you add value to me? And when you add value to somebody, essence of toxic relationship would be very limited. And then there's also always fear of a breakup.
Sure.
Yeah, there's the fear of breakup for a man. I don't know how ladies see it, who suffers more during a breakup. But I think who has invested more will suffer more. Who has invested more in terms of psychologically, financially, definitely. Emotionally. You will suffer more. So, and men are afraid of such. Sometimes you can just cling to a relationship that is not working because of the fear of breakup, how you be perceived, umeachwa.
And for a man that is such a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Okay. You have highlighted many of the major issues that say that men are experiencing in today's society, especially clinging in a relationship where you know it is not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere.
But I don't want to be single, so I'll drop this when I get someone
when
else.
I get someone else.
Yeah, and that is building a lifestyle that is very toxic and has a lot of repercussions. Yeah. So I'd say for men, seek help if you are in a situation that you find very difficult and you do not understand what is happening. Because our society has taught men not to speak out and seek for help.
That you have to be perfect.
That you have to be perfect and that men do not cry. But today I want to encourage all the men out there to cry.
Yeah, to cry.
Yeah, because it is human to cry. So if you feel hurt, if you want to talk to someone, get someone to talk to and seek help. This reminds me of last week where a video was circulating of a student who committed suicide by throwing himself off a building. Yeah. Now we do not know the major reasons, but indeed we can all agree that we have seen cases of men
taking away their
lives
at very young age
and are on the high.
On the high.
Yeah. So let's end this.
Yeah, it should
today.
end.
Let's end this by seeking help, by speaking out, and just accepting who you are as a man and learning to define yourself. Because if we stick to what the society defines us, we'll hit a dead end because there's a lot of expectations.
As men, find friends.
Yeah.
Not only your age mates. In your circle of friends, have at least some friends you influence and some friends who influence you. And these ones who influence should be persons who you admire in one way or the other. At least you can have a trajectory of what's going on. Yeah. You don't have to go through it to know. So it's also important.
All right.
Yeah.
That is very well put. Thank you so much. Today we are ending the show right here, but this discussion doesn't have to end here. Let's continue the discussion on our social media pages and tell men out there that it is okay to cry because it is human-like. Thank you so much for joining me today on Let's Talk Family. My name is Faith Kaulu. See you next time, same place, same time.
Coming soon on KAK TV.
Live every day, you've got to live single.
There's no specific time where we say, okay, this is the only time you can get married. After this time, no.
If a child fails an exam